I was asking this guy right here about his exhaust system. He's got EAW or something. EAW. Oh, and maybe even put the sticker back there, huh? So all together, when you got it done,
Yeah. Only the motor, no.
So all together, when you got it done, how much they charge? About $2?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I have.
That sounds good.
The dips and black. I like it chrome.
Yeah, I probably would do the same thing. The chrome pipe instead of the black. Oh, okay. It looked like
the price changed. It's I don't know. This time maybe 1,800. Or 2,000.
Okay. Yeah,
2,000.
that sounds about
maybe
right.
2,000.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
This time maybe 2,000. Look.
1740.
Taxes. But it's complete.
So yeah, because I was looking at a catback
Yeah.
exhaust. Was looking at a catback. Can I hear it again? Or you start it? Oh, you can start it. I want to look back here. Listen. All right. Sounds nice. Yeah, that sounds. I like that.
In the pain, in the back. The people parking my wife.
Huh?
I need a pain.
Oh, your wife scratch it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't never let your wife drive the car. She's gonna scratch it up.
I have 5 years this car.
5? Yeah, me too. I'm 6 years. 2016. I got like 87,000 miles.
I changed the ring.
Yeah, I like the. I'm gonna buy new rims, but I'm gonna keep the design. I like the
And the
design.
spring is for loading.
Oh, you lowered the spring.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Relax.
All right, cool. It looks good.
Yeah,
Looks good. Looks good.
I needed the front lip fiber carbon.
Oh, you want to get a carbon fiber front
Yeah.
one? Ah.
I needed carbon fiber.
Oh, okay. Yeah, looks good. Very good looking, yeah. I decided to keep mine. I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to keep it.
It's 2016.
16. Yeah, this is like 17, 18, right?
17.
All right. Yeah, it looks
The new
good.
I have, no. I mean the second.
Oh, okay.
I buy 15 months.
Not bad. Okay. See, this guy right here has a Cadillac Blackwing. He has it in a color I haven't seen before. This is CT4 Blackwing. Interesting color. Pennsylvania. So here we go again. It is what is it? We're at low fuel, so I've got like no gas left, and I'm sitting here waiting for this lady to hurry up and put gas in her car. I have to put air in one of my tires, and what is it? Gas is $4.07 for premium, $3.47 for regular. So first of all, you ask, well, why is gas prices so high? And they're claiming that because of the abnormal heat, that gas prices are really, really high. And they're saying that somehow the abnormal heat has had an effect on gas prices. Now, the Biden administration, now this lady is leaving and shit. I thought she was going to just hurry up and put the goddamn gas in this car. But anyway, so the Biden administration is doing their best to force us off of fossil fuels. Like they've literally, I've said it 100 times. They said they were coming after your stove. Obviously, there's no reason to just go after your stove because you have other things that have fossil fuels running in your house. So they're coming after your dryer. They're coming after your coal, anything you got that has coal. You know how you buy Brickstone coal? Some people they be like, oh yeah, I want my Franks and hot dogs and hamburgers. I like it cold. I don't like using propane. Yo, guess what? You're not going to have a choice of coal or propane. You're going to have an electric fucking grill. And I know you're saying, oh, that's crazy. They can't do that. And they're already telling you, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to put it into law, and there's like nothing that you can do because we're in full control. So they're literally telling you that they plan on doing that shit. So you're going to have electric grill. You're not going to have coal. You're not going to have natural gas. You're not going to have propane, nothing. They're going to have electric grills. Like, you remember the George Foreman grill? How it knocked out the fat, you just plug it in, and then you just put the meat on it, and the oil and the juices run down the spaces. Yeah, well, that's what you're going to have. You're going to have the George Foreman grill, and that's it. That's your choice. So they refuse to admit that they've pretty much lost this war with Russia. So ultimately, they're going to force us off of oil, force us off of gas, and they're amazingly coming up with all these federal subsidies in order to afford paying for freaking electric cars, which I find amazing that they can offer $7,500 tax credits to everybody who runs out and buy an electric car. Bottom line is, I'm in it to win it, so I'm gonna get mine myself. I'm gonna get my tax credit. What's her shirt say? It says rolls, dumples, and what? Body something. What? It says rolls, dumple. You see this GLA 250? If you're in the hood, when a chick gets a little bit of money, that's the car she gets. She get the GLA, the CLA, anything but those goddamn Nissan Altimas, right? See what it is you got the Altima and the Sentra, right? And then you got the Rogue. Once these chicks get some money, next thing you know, it's a CLA, a GLA, or maybe even an A class or a C class. That's what happens. But what is it? What was I saying? So anyway, they're already telling you we're going to take all your gas-powered, fossil fuel-powered stuff. You've got no choice. All that cheap Russian oil. Do you realize that we were shipping in over 1 million barrels of inexpensive oil from Russia? We were shipping in over 1 million barrels every single week. It was more than that. I'm just using 1 million as a low number. We were shipping over 1 million barrels of oil from Russia a week. And now they've basically killed all that shit. So Europe couldn't figure out where they could get their oil. So what they did was they have to underhandedly buy it from India in order to make it appear that they're actually following America's rules and sticking to the sanctions, which they're not. And then Africa is like, fuck all that. We need cheap oil, cheap energy, so we're just going to buy it straight from Russia. So they just had a Russian summit, and there was some African countries that signed on, and they say, yeah, you know, we're going to go there, we're going to hear what Vladimir Putin has to say, because we honestly don't give a fuck about Ukraine. And that's just that's the game. That's the global politics. You got to see what it is. It's like, you know, these other countries, they're not going to play, but look at this 4-7. I got to buy an electric car because you'll try to bankrupt me out of my Hemi, you bastards. It's ridiculous. So here we go, $4.07. This is ridiculous. But what was it basically? I'll tell you. You know who really is hurting? The people who were used to paying less than $3.47 for their regular unleaded, and now they got to pay all this money for freaking regular unleaded. You know, I know they're not happy about that. But as I've always insisted, if you're looking to build a dividend-paying stock portfolio, gas and oil companies are probably your best. They're probably one of your best dividend payers, because even right now, one of my best performers is Sunoco. Sunoco pays more than once a year its dividend. I can also say that obviously banks are good, and I would specifically say Visa and MasterCard. You have to add those in when you think, what the fuck? Who are you? Are you a traffic person? What the hell are you doing, lady? This lady standing out here directing traffic and shit. What the hell is she doing? This lady act like she got one of them crossing guard uniforms on or something. What the hell? But anyway, okay. Banks, oil, gas companies, Visa and MasterCard, all of these pay dividends. If you're building a dividend-paying portfolio, these are all great places to be parking your money. Obviously, the tech sector. Where's this guy going? Oh, so yeah, the tech sector, Micron, AMD, Intel, ASML, what is the other one? Taiwan Semiconductors, Intel. Those are great places to be putting your money. So some of those pay dividends, like Nvidia and Intel and Micron, I believe. So those are great places to get dividends, and those are great places to park your money. But if you're building a stock portfolio, like I get people asking me, like they got like $500 and they're like, yeah, what are some good stocks to buy? I'm like, yeah, $500 is just a start, man. You got to have like no less than like a couple of thousand in. It's like, even if you want to build an artificial intelligence portfolio using Charles Schwab, they're asking you for $5,000 to start. And so they're basically saying, yeah, you put in $5,000, we'll build you a portfolio, But yeah, it's like 98 degrees out here. You got all these fucking people show up at once so they can get gas, and then you come in here to $4.07. I swear to God, the last time I came here, gas was like $3.99, and now it's $4.07. This shit is ridiculous. Who is this lady? Like, this lady, she's like a troublemaker. Like, what is she doing? But anyway, yeah, it's like last time I came here, gas was like 7 cents less. And this is BJ's. BJ's and Costco usually have the gas for cheapest, right? So everybody usually comes here instead of going to the gas station if they can, the regular gas station. But if the prices are this high here, then that means that the regular gas station is probably 10 or 20 cents higher if you're using credit. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. See, I like coming here because I don't need to use cash. Like, I can use a credit card. Look at this, $83 for 20 fucking gallons. Look at this. This is bullshit. Let me tell you something. Once you end up paying off one of these Hemi trucks, like a Ram truck or a Jeep or something, you might as well just keep this bastard. And once it's paid off, you just apply some of that money that you normally would have been paying for a car note towards your gas, But see, my thinking is, no, you take that money, you apply it towards your stock portfolio. Look at this, 90 fucking one. I know I'm going over $100 because the last time gas was like this, it was like I went to $115 when I was going from empty to full. Uh-oh, here we go, 95. God damn. I'm trying to get a solid 24. All right, 80. Boom, there we go, $96. This is bullshit. $96. God damn, $96. Look at this guy with the Chrysler. I think that's it's either an SRT design or, I know it's a Hemi. It's definitely a Hemi. I could tell by the bottom fog lights. But I don't think it's a Chrysler SRT. Chrysler really fucked us by not giving us a Hellcat. They really, 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 really fucked us. Oh yeah, that's a regular Hemi. See, it's probably all-wheel drive too. They really screwed us by not giving us the Hellcat 300. These bastards. It's disgusting, their behavior. Yeah, I'm gonna put my seatbelt on in a minute. But yeah, man, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. You see this? This is the line of people waiting to get in there to get gas. It's disgusting. This line. This guy got a Honda Insight. What the hell are you even doing here? I thought those cars get like 1,000,000 miles to a gallon or something. What are you doing here? Hybrid. People up there like, oh yeah, hydrogen is the future. No, it's not. No, it's not. Hydrogen is not, first of all, hydrogen is not as clean as they try to make it out to be, number one. Number two, electricity allows the government and the powers that be more control, and they're not going to give up that control for a freaking experimental ass hydrogen. Nobody's buying a goddamn hydrogen car. It's like there's a couple of people out in California who think that California represents real life. California ain't nothing but a drug den filled with criminals who are going into your stores, stealing everything. They're locking up the soap and shit because these criminals have been allowed to run wild and they're literally stealing every goddamn thing. California in no way represents real life. It in no way represents real life. So for those people in California and they see a couple of hydrogen fuel stations, ain't nobody fucking going to hydrogen. You must be out of your goddamn mind. People are going to electric. They every day they talking about solid state batteries. They talking about adding sugar to batteries and all this. It's like nobody's going to no freaking hydrogen. And there's people who be telling me this, and I'm like, are you crazy? They're not putting no hydrogen. You ain't getting what the fuck you think this is? You think this is Oppenheimer? It's like you're gonna blow up a car or something. You talk about cars on fire, they're gonna be having cars go nuclear. It's like, that's not gonna happen. It's like, these people are dumb. Look at this. Look at this. Regular gas prices. Look at this. Regular gas is $4.29. $4.29 if you're using a credit card. That's insane, man. It's like, how are people supposed to live on these high gas prices? Unless they're buying stock in gas and they're getting dividends. Like, how are you supposed to live? It's ridiculous. It's just sad. People keep on asking me every freaking week, oh, where's your new Cadillac? Yeah, well, guess what? GM is really fucking slow, and I'm still waiting for it. Here you got somebody's lyric on a flatbed, which must have meant that he must have had some problem with it or something. See, one thing about it is software updates and stuff, it can be simple shit that puts one of these cars right back into the shop. This one's got lights in it. Oh. This one's got lights in the handle. Yeah, these are 265/50 20s, huh? Black Lyric, yeah, this one's fucked up. Yeah, so let me guess. The guy must have had some problem with it, and he had to bring it back. Well, hey, listen, nothing's perfect. And then this one right here, this one's got the white interior right here, this one. And this is a customer's. So, yeah, I don't regret my choice, because the thing about it is the only other car I think I would consider is a BMW iX. And right now, BMW iX, like, they're doing like a summer event or something where it's like $400. Yeah, I mean, it's a really nice car and everything. But the only downside is you got to worry about the electricity. If you have an electrical problem with an electric car, it's like, now you got to tow the damn thing. So this one is brand new. This one hasn't been sold yet. Yeah, I just came to ask about mine, so we'll see what happens. I came out here to see if they had an XT4, because I wanted to see what the new interior in the XT4 looked like. They've got like 3 Lyrics right here. They got these 3 silver Lyrics. Mine is going to have the 22-inch wheels, and I'm going to have the moonroof. They got 3 silver ones. They got a bunch of black ones. It's funny, GM takes this sweet goddamn time until they actually feel like building what they're going to build, or what they're supposed to be building. Got this Escalade V right here. You know, it's sad that the market is like so boring right now. People are like actually thinking about this, because this is like, some people are confused. They think this thing is really fast. This is not as fast as a Hellcat, and this is not as fast as even a Scat Pack. They want $158,000. Aye, it's hot. $158,040 for an ESV Escalade V Series. So this is the big one. This one's the bus. This is the bus. This is the super bus right here. You got that big bus. Jesus Christ. This one, I don't know what that is. It might be this is an ESV. Look at this thing. Look at this bus. You got another, all these Lyrics. It's amazing how they went from having no Lyrics to having Lyrics. It's just they don't have mine. And then they got this one. This is all-wheel drive, because it says 600 E4. So this is all-wheel drive in white. So that's nice. Yeah, that's a nice one. All of them have those same wheel. They have that same wheel style on them. I think this is a new XT4. I'll look. Yep, that's a new XT4. I gotta look at that in a second. So this is another Lyric. This is a black Lyric. Oh, they got another. Oh, silver ESV V Series. God damn, that bus. Freaking buses out here. So, see, and they got a bunch of Lyrics. They just don't have mine. And freaking incredible. Bunch of Lyrics. They just don't have mine. Mine hasn't been built. So this is 157. 470. 157. So this, I can't tell if it has Super Cruise or not. But so that was 158 for black. This is 157. Basically, it's 158. It doesn't. It's still the same thing. So these are ESV V Series. But mostly that V Series, the reason why they had to supercharge these engines It's because these things were slow. Like I drove the what was it? The comparison between, I think it was the Navigator, the Wagoneer, the Grand Wagoneer with the 6.4 liter, just like my Jeep, and the Wagoneer actually had the best pickup because the 6.4 is such a powerful engine. But they had to make these V series because they had to make these things fast. Because other than that, a lot of people were complaining about the pickup. But these things, my God, this thing looks like a train. This doesn't even look like a car anymore. This looks like it's a train, like the front cab. Like, you remember that movie Unstoppable with Denzel Washington? That's what this looks like. This looks like it's a freaking train. This is a 2000. This is the newest XT4. So what they did was they gave it the interior screen just like the Lyric, where it curves around. You got the curved glass. But I see it still has the same central panel. So it has the exact same center panel, but it has a more Lyric-y interior. That's the XT4. And the thing that's nice about XT4s is if you don't really need a very big car, if you're a small person, like if you're like shorter than 6 feet tall, it's like the XT4 is actually really nice. This guy has got his Escalade, and he's got his Escalade tricked out. It says $1 billion. This guy's he's $1 billion car accidents. You got to be careful, bro. Scraping up that shit. You got to be so careful. The story here is gas prices are up. Sticker shock hits pump as heat wave oil prices push costs to an 8-month high. Says as temperatures soar across the country, gas prices are following suit. National average for a gallon of regular unleaded jumped 13 cents to $3.71, an 8-month high. I don't know why they only focus on regular unleaded. Most people are using premium now because they got these goddamn turbochargers in these cars, and most people, because they're suggested that they should be using premium fuel to get the most out of their turbocharged little shit 4-cylinder or 6-cylinder, most people are really using premium unleaded. You know, the only people who still use regular unleaded are people who know that they can get away with it. Like they got those little 4-cylinder Camrys and little 4-cylinder Toyotas, but a lot of people got these turbocharged cars now. So I really think that it would be more honest to talk about both regular and premium, but they're not honest, so they're not going to do that. But anyway, higher pump prices are mostly attributed to steadily increasing oil prices, since oil accounts for almost half the cost of a gallon of gas. But this summer's heat wave blanketing the country has only further boosted pump prices, some experts say. Extreme heat prevents refineries, which convert oil into usable products like gasoline, from running at full capacity. If refineries in your region have lower or falling utilization rates, you're more likely to see gas prices rise. Why is gas going up in 2023? We are seeing refiners in Texas, Louisiana, Tennessee, and some other states struggle to run anywhere near at maximum rates, said Tom Cloza, global head of energy analysis at Oil Price Information Services. Petroleum engineers can tell you that when ambient temperatures get to the 100-degree neighborhood, it is difficult to run at maximum levels. Let's see, is there anything else important here? All right, so they just go on to talk about the numbers and the percent declines and this, that, and other. But the bottom line is, as you're seeing, I feel it. I mean, it went from $3.90 to $3.98, $3.99, and now I'm paying $4.07 a gallon. So, as I've said 100 times, it's inevitable what's going to happen. You're going to eventually be priced out and taxed out of gasoline and gas-powered cars, gas laundries. Your dryer is going to be, you're not going to be allowed to have gas. You're not going to be allowed to have a gas water boiler. Your gas stove is going to be attacked. I also heard just recently, and that's a different story, the Biden administration is demanding that vehicles reach these unachievable miles per gallon. I believe they said that they have to get like 58 miles to a gallon. Considering how heavy these cars are because of all the safety features, That's not going to happen. So inevitably, they'll have no choice but to go electric. So I think it's fair to say that it's no longer a conspiracy theory. It's really it's a fact. It's a conspiracy fact. Yeah, they're conspiring to kill the gas car, the gas dryer, the gas stove, and the gas water boiler, and the coal-fired pizza oven. They're conspiring to kill them. It's no longer a theory. It's absolutely a fact. So there's the story right there. Biden administration poses strict targets for vehicle fuel economy. Rules would mandate 58 miles per gallon by 2032, likely prodding car makers to sell more EVs. It's no longer a conspiracy theory, it's a conspiracy fact. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this, but the reality is you can read these articles yourself. You can try to, put together all the information, but it's pretty obvious what's going on here. There's no way, short of you driving in a Toyota Prius, that you're getting 58 miles a gallon. My truck weighs what? 2 times, maybe even 3 times more than a Prius. It's like, no, it's not going to happen. So EVs are inevitable at this point. And I know there's so many people, oh yeah, I'll never sell my gas car. I need to hear it turn on. I need to be able to start the gas car. I need to hear it turn on and make that sound. You can forget it. It's like they are going to either tax you out of it, regulate you out of it, or just straight up tell you you're not allowed to drive it. There's nothing you can do. There's no right to drive. It's not in the Constitution. The government can force you to drive whatever they say you're allowed to drive. And I know there's people who'd like to say, yeah, that's not true. But yeah, it is. It really is. It's a damn shame. So it is what it is, guys. So basically, if I were you right now, I'd be taking a look at all the electric cars being sold. I'd be figuring out which one that you want to save up money for, because that's pretty much what you're going to be forced to do one way or another. I did say I didn't want to make this very long, but just to prove my point, all of the planned bans are in coastal states, in addition to California, Maryland, New York, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Oregon, Washington. They have made the commitment to stop allowing sales of new gas-powered vehicles after 2035. These 7 states are banning gas-powered cars. It's no longer conspiracy theory. It's conspiracy fact. Keep that in mind. A lot of times, I find it really odd that every time Hunter Biden is in trouble, that the news suddenly comes up with something to draw our attention away from it. The last time, I think he was taking a plea deal or something, and then all of a sudden, Ocean Gate pops into the news, a sub implodes, and everybody's glued to this sub for like 3 weeks straight. And nothing came of it because the sub basically imploded and everybody was killed. But I find it so amazing that something like that just popped up automatically and took our attention away from Hunter Biden. Now, with Hunter Biden, his plea deal, I think, has fallen apart. Now they're talking about aliens and fucking UFOs, and they're seriously having hearings about this shit. Now, I personally believe that if aliens do exist, it's going to look like Independence Day 4, where they're going to have such big ships that they won't even be able to hide them. Like all this bullshit about Tic Tacs and F-18s chasing Tic Tacs, I don't believe in any of that, okay? They got the most sophisticated camera footage abilities in the world, and they can only come up with Bigfoot images or some shit. They have nothing else. It's like all of the cell phone cameras, everybody's walking around with a 4K camera in their pocket. UFO sightings have gone down, not up. And you know what's funny? Once Apple, not iPhone, but once Apple put iPhones in everybody's pocket, UFO and alien sightings dropped to like all-time lows. Meanwhile, police brutality sightings have risen by like thousands of %. I think that's very, very interesting. But the bottom line is, you can fool the rest of these dummies like you do with those zombies in the what is it, the Dawn of the Dead movies, where you fire fucking fireworks and everybody's looking up and not paying attention to what you're doing. I'm still watching you. I'm Big Daddy here. I'm watching your ass. I know you've got everybody else paying attention to some bullshit. I know you're full of shit, and I'm watching. I got my eye on you. You can't trick me. It's no longer conspiracy theory, it's conspiracy fact. So anyway, starting in 2035, California will prohibit the sale of new gas-powered cars. Now, you can read the rest of this stuff because I've already gone over the broad details. What they will do is they'll make it harder for you to repair gas cars. They'll refuse to register gas cars. Like, could you imagine you got this old piece of shit, I don't know, a Ford Crown Victoria or something in your garage, and you want to drive around in it because you like old cars, and they literally tell you, no, we're not going to register it, so you're not allowed to drive it. Oh, but how come? It's like, no, you're only allowed to register electric cars. You can buy a new Tesla, but you ain't registering that old piece of shit. Yeah, they have that power. Because I know here in New York, you have to have 2 stickers on your car just to drive. You got to have an inspection sticker, which is basically, it's a tax. It's an emissions tax. Because, I mean, for God's sakes, the car is fucking brand new. Obviously, I have a catalytic converter. Obviously, I meet emission standards and everything. But they demand you have an inspection sticker, and they demand you have a registration sticker. If you don't have either of those 2 things, the cops will see you automatically, because these stickers are colored. So I think right now the color is red, if I'm not mistaken. And if they see you, they're gonna pull you over, and next thing you know, you're gonna end up in cuffs. Your car is gonna be impounded, and you're going to jail. It's just that simple. So all these people, oh no, I could drive what I want. No, you really can't. There's no right to drive. You're going to find out the hard, just like these women who think there's a right to abortion. Guess what, idiots? No, there's not. The Constitution says nothing about abortion. Even if you wanted to stretch it and say the 9th and 10th Amendment allow it, the answer is no, it doesn't. And there's no right to abortion. And I have news for you. There's also no right to drive a car. So it's a privilege. They will just as quickly take that privilege away from you, or they will tax you out of it, and they'll make it so it's too expensive, and you won't be able to do it. So yeah, it is what it is, guys. So if you're one of these losers who've got one of these fucking Honda Civic fart can motors and shit, and you're driving past my house at 3 or 2 in the morning or something because you want to hear your fart can, all I can say to you is eventually you're not even going to be allowed to have it. They already have cameras that have the ability to give out tickets to people who have loud exhausts just as easily as they give out tickets to people who run the red light or people who are driving too fast in certain zones. So, they call it the New York Sleep Act. So guess what? Yeah, they're coming for your fart can muffler. If your exhaust is too loud, they're basically making it so in California. It's like, even if you have a stock exhaust, like if you have a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or something, if you have a stock exhaust and they say it's too loud, they can literally fucking ticket you. And they can take thousands of dollars from you without giving you the opportunity to fix it. And it's crazy, but these guys aren't playing. These guys are not playing. This is what I foresee. Any car that doesn't go completely EV, they're going to force them to have electric motors, and they're going to have electric modes. Jeep is already doing it. Like, you've seen the new Jeep E-Series. They have electric motors for electric mode. Electric mode is like 20 miles or something, 25 miles max. And that'll end up being what the car does when it's like at very low speeds, like if you're navigating inside a neighborhood. But if you're actually driving, the most you're going to see is like a freaking 6-cylinder or even a 4-cylinder, and that'll be about it. There's no more V8s. It's over. The only thing that gets a V8 is trucks that obviously will be immune to these laws. However, by 2040, they're saying that they're not going to even allow you to have gas-powered trucks. So all of this rush to push you into an electric vehicle it is what it is. But you don't have a choice anymore. You don't really have a choice. See, I'm getting ahead of the ball. See, I already see what's coming, so I'm getting ahead of it all. I'm grabbing that $7,500 government tax credit. I'm getting my $5,000 rebate from GM. I'm getting ahead of this because I already see. You know, everybody's gonna be, oh yeah, but I can't take a road trip. They'll be like, yes, you can. We have charges all up and down the eastern seaboard. We have charges all around the country. We even have an app that tells you where the charges are. They're not playing with you guys. It's like they're coming to take your shit, and eventually they'll get you. And that's what it is. I'm sorry. It's no longer conspiracy theory. It's conspiracy fact. So real quickly, as you know, oil prices have already been going up, so I'm not going to look at that. What I'm going to focus on really, really quickly is the dividend earners, because obviously the smart people who are investing their money, they're interested in earning dividends, and they're interested in being able to one day have money coming in that they can either reinvest, or that they can take that money and they can use that money to buy stuff that they'll need, possibly medication, because when your ass gets old, your medication is going to cost a lot of money. But the dividend earners, I was looking online, and some of these websites, like specifically Motley Fool, I've watched them for a very long time, basically since they got on the scene. And these guys, I don't know if they get their information from watching other people and what they say, or watching CNBC all day long and then they type up something. They may even have an AI generated script, because I know some of these news organizations on the internet have AI making their news for them. Bottom line is, they've been going whole hog on Apple and Nvidia specifically. Tell it, like I just read one, in fact. It says if you've got $5,000, you should put it all in Apple. Now, me personally, if I had $5,000 right now that I was going to invest right now, I wouldn't just put it in Apple. I would spread it around a little bit. Like, I'd diversify a little. Like, I'd probably put it in 2 or 3 different things equally. $5,000 split between like 3 different or 4 different stocks. But they believe in Apple. Apple has definitely been growing. Apple is at $195. Then there's also Microsoft. And all of these that you see right here pay dividends. Obviously, banks and oil are some of the things that I focused on. But as far as these tech companies, I can't overstate my long-term analysis. I can't overstate it. Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Micron, Taiwan Semiconductors, ASML, Intel. And some people would say, oh, but Intel stock is down. Yeah, Intel stock is actually been going up from its low point, because you got to remember, Intel operates in Israel, and investment has been low because a lot of people have been focused on NVIDIA. Intel makes accelerators. They make silicon chip accelerators for artificial intelligence, and they also obviously make Core i7s, Core i9s, Core i5s. Which are basically the heart of most computer systems right now. AMD has a very powerful processor that they have put up against the 13900K. However, AMD still doesn't have the reach that Intel has. Intel is a very powerful company. AMD is good, but Intel is bigger. So these chip companies, I recommend, and I've said this already, because you know how I made my own personal index. I recommend that what you really should do, especially if you're building a dividend-paying portfolio, you need to make yourself a couple of base companies. Even if you want to pick the trillion-dollar companies, that's fine, even though you're going to pay more for their stock shares than I did, because I bought in a long time ago. You need to make yourself a base investment. Like, if you want your favorite companies that pay dividends, those should be your base companies that you invest in, right? And then after that, you can add shares from other things, especially as dividends come in and you're able to respend and reallocate some of that money. Yeah, there are banks. I recommend, if you don't really want to buy the big banks like Wells Fargo and JP Morgan, I really believe you should be buying JP Morgan, because JP Morgan is going to eventually be $1 trillion corporation. They're going in that direction. But if you don't want to buy them, you can always buy Visa or MasterCard or American Express. Visa is definitely going to $1 trillion eventually, and so is MasterCard. Most of these corporations, that's their goal at this point. I'm pretty sure most of these corporations, they have the same damn meeting. They're like, yeah, we're going to be $1 trillion just like Apple. Apple got there first. Then you had a bunch of followers. Tesla's going to $1 trillion. It's a matter of time, but that's where they're going. So as far as these oil companies, yeah, some of these oil companies, I wish you could have bought when I told you to buy when it was negative back in 2020, because I tell you, that pandemic shit, that I don't think that's ever going to happen again. I think the only thing that you'll ever have even remotely close to what we saw during the pandemic is if we have like nuclear war or some shit. But that pandemic gave you an opportunity to buy in. But some of y'all wanted to spend your money on XRP and Bitcoin and Litecoin and this coin and that coin and all that. And now you've seen your worth wiped out. But the gas companies, I got huge returns with oil. I got huge returns. And the oil companies are still pumping out. As you can see, I mean, they've got you paying $4 a gallon right now. I mean, the oil companies, until I would say they're saying by 2035 they won't allow any more gas cars. But that means that the cars that have been sold are still going to be on the road, so they're still going to need gas and oil. So I believe the oil companies will be trading still in their highs even by 2040. Maybe even 2050, because you also have to remember these oil companies are going to end up having to focus on home heating oil and other things that can't be easily replaced. These trains, these are not electric trains. These things run on diesel fuel. I have a cousin who refuels trains every single night. He's got to refuel 2 trains after going to a refinery. Yeah, these oil companies, they're not disappearing anytime soon. They may lose market share, but they're not disappearing anytime soon. They're going to be paying their dividend for quite some time. So if you're building a dividend portfolio, which is the best recommendation, especially towards your retirement, you definitely should have banks and oil. Banks and oil. That's the best thing I can possibly think of. The tech companies, look at Intel. Intel went from $33 to $37. GM went from $33 to $38. I own GM, I own Stellantis, I own Ford, I own a lot of electric vehicle companies too. You may have noticed that there were rises in Rivian, and there were rises in Lucid and everything. Like they got knocked down, but they started rising again. And the reality is these electric vehicle companies, their value is mostly in their future value. So they're going to be pumping these things up because a lot of the money that's out there, a lot of it's already in Tesla. But they're gonna keep pumping money into these electric vehicle companies. They really are. Like I'm looking right now, the only ones that I see that I have a little small percentage in red is Faraday Future, and let's see. Actually, I'm looking at a different screen right now. Faraday Future is the only thing I have in the red. Everything else, Fisker is in the green. Lucid's in the green. Let's see. Nikola Corp. They build trucks, electric trucks. They're in the green. Nikola, Fisker. In fact, let me show you my list. How do I do that? Watch list. Which one is it? I always forget how to do this. Tech. Yes. Done. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, Faraday Future is FFIE. Everything else is in the green. And then I also own bits of military industrial complex like Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, and Boeing and whatnot. As you can see, the majority of these things in the green. GM, because of when I bought GM, I'm still technically in the green on GM. But they're saying GM's down 2%. But I wouldn't worry about that. You got to remember, GM was at like $66 or something before this Russia-Ukraine thing. And they've fallen down a little bit. But the thing about it is they're still a factory, and they're still like, one of the world's largest car makers. They're coming right back. So I'm not really worried about them. But the thing about it is, yeah, these are my tech companies. And ultimately, that's the whole point of you getting those dividends. You take those dividends when they come in, and then you reinvest them. Even if you only can buy 4 or 5 shares of something, you just reinvest them, and you keep reinvesting. You keep buying new shares, keep reinvesting. And the thing about it is, before you know it, you'll build your portfolio up like you wouldn't have believed. Because when I paid off my last car, my Jeep SRT, when I paid it off, I was taking a lot of the money that I had, the extra money, because that thing is not fucking cheap. That's a very expensive. That car was like $85,000 with tax, right? So that thing was costing like $1,030 a month, and I was taking that money and I was using that money to buy more stock, and I was able to amass like stock portfolios, and now with the the TD Ameritrade disappeared, Charles Schwab bought them. So basically it collapsed all of that into, 2 smaller portfolios rather than the larger one. And some of it I sold off because I intend to buy my car cash. So this way I can take my money and I can still keep reinvesting. But the reality is, even though this government has been raising interest rates and this government's been fucking over the little guy by making a housing market that's completely unaffordable and making it so you can damn near not afford to buy anything, especially if you're using a credit card. The reality is I've managed to keep my head above it, usually really by doing 2 things. Number one, I don't believe a motherfucking word they say on the news or when they have these press conferences at the White House. I don't believe anything they say. I do listen, but I don't believe anything they say. Number 2, when they tell me to do something, I pretty much do the opposite. I don't listen to shit they say because they're all liars. And that's the reality. I think by now y'all figured it out. It's no longer conspiracy theory. It's conspiracy fact. So building a dividend-paying portfolio is the smartest thing you can possibly do at this point. You got to look out for your own retirement. This video of people flipping out because they found out that their retirement was either endangered or their retirement disappeared. And that's not going to be me. It's like I got like 10 years left of this bullshit and I'm out of here. I'm going to be on a beach. I'm going to have a foreign wife half my age rubbing me down with coconut oil. I'm going to be sipping buko juice. I'm not going to be here fighting each other like y'all are. It's like I'm going to be on an island somewhere taking photos and putting them on Facebook, and that's it. I have no aspirations. It's like when people ask me when I grew up, what did I want to be? At first I said I wanted to be a pilot. Then I said, oh, no, you know what? I think I want to be something else. And then now I realize all I want to be is retired. I want out. That's it. I just want out. So when people if you're a kid and you're listening to the sound of my voice, if people ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? Say, I want to be retired. That's what you should say. But other than that, you'll need to build for your retirement. You'll need to get your money invested. You need to have something coming in, shadow income, whatever you call it, residual income, shadow income, royalties, whatever you're doing. But I think you're in for some rough chop, and you need to have that extra side money coming in. You got to have something coming in. So that's all for now. I said I was going to make this short. So, altogether, I guess it's a little bit long, but it's not too long. So that's all for right now.
I breed you 30-something fucking years. You tell me I ain't got no motherfucking pension. And nobody tell me to calm my ass down. Fuck everybody tell me to calm down. God damn it. This is my motherfucking money y'all playing with. You're right, Dwayne. Fuck that shit. So this is what To be continued.